For this mac and cheese, we're going to make a 4-cheese blend. We got Gruyere and cheddar cheese right here. This will end up to be about a cup of each once we're done shredding it. But I have to cut them because I don't own a shredder because I just moved away to college. So don't go gassing me. I'm just going to cut them into little matchsticks and then cut them perpendicular. So I'll end up with a bunch of little squares. In case anyone out there doesn't own a shredder like me. Which I don't know why you wouldn't. We're going to do the same thing for the Gruyere. And then that's going to be about a cup of each. And then we're going to get our Parmesan cheese and get a cup of that. And then get a cup of our mozzarella cheese. This is going to make our 4-cheese blend for this mac and cheese. We're going to put that into a bowl and set it to the side for now. And to make a change of pace for this mac, we're going to get some bacon. I'm going to get like 6 pieces of bacon. This is the first time I've made bacon since I moved to college. I never really make breakfast because I don't really eat breakfast, but this bacon is going to be used for the topping of the mac. We're going to go ahead and slice it up into little pieces. And then set it aside into a little bowl or dish. Okay, for the parsley, we're going to go ahead and chip it up. You don't want any of the stems. Just go ahead and like slice off the parsley part. It's not doesn't have to be exact. You could get some of the stems in there because it's all food, but just try to get most of it off. You want to have at the end, when you mince it all up, you're going to want about half a cup of parsley. We don't need the stems, so we go ahead and toss those and then get to chopping. My technique is just keep going across. Like I'll go across up and down, and then I'll go across left and right, so I'll get a nice chop on them. Then we're gonna go ahead and set that aside into a separate plate or dish or a bowl, whatever you have. Now we're going to take out 4 cloves of garlic. You're going to want to smash them all first before you do anything. This is going to loosen up the skin and make them easier to chop and easier to take the skin off. Watch. The skin basically falls right off. Which is perfect because we don't really want to use the skins. Then we're going to go ahead and give that a nice fine mince. Like I said, my technique is up, down, left, right. Just keep going across the grain till you get a nice mince. We're going to set the garlic to the side, and then we're going to bring a pan up to heat. Always want to preheat your pans. Then after a few minutes, when it's preheated, you want to throw the bacon on. You know it's preheated when you put your hand over the pan and you feel the heat from that pan hitting your hand. Oh, bars. But go ahead and keep moving those around for a few minutes. You want them to get crispy, but halfway through, at about this point right here, when you see all of that oil coming up, or all of that bacon grease coming up, you're going to throw in the bacon and the parsley. Wait, not the bacon, the garlic. The bacon's already in there. Anyways, go ahead and mix that up. And then you're going to cook it until the bacon gets crispy. Then once you reach the crispiness you desire, go ahead and throw in 2 cups of Panko breading. That'll soak up all the bacon grease and make it real flavorful. Then throw in a teaspoon of chili flakes if you want some heat. I always like heat in my food, so I literally always throw chili flakes in. Now get a pot of water, bring it to a rolling boil. This is going to be to boil the mac. I had to rearrange it for the video, but we're going to take that same pan that we used for the breadcrumbs. We're going to get 3 tablespoons of butter and 3 tablespoons of flour in there. You want to add the flour in after the butter is all melted. That's going to be the thickening agent for this cheese sauce for the mac. And you're going to just want to cook the rawness out the flour, which is why it's on there. And we're going to put in 3 cups of milk. We're going to go 1 cup at a time. Go 1 cup, mix it up, let it cook for a little bit. Add another cup, mix it up, let it heat up. And then we're going to throw the last cup in and keep mixing and scraping the pan. Get all that flavor out. You want all of that leftover bacon flavor, panko, garlic, all of that to be in this cheese sauce. It'll just make it that much better. Then after like 5 minutes, it'll become thick like this. Well, not super thick, but more thick than it was before. And then you add in your 4-cheese blend. You're going to leave some left over, which we're going to use for the breadcrumb topping. And mix that up, let that melt into there. And since it's so hot, it's going to all easily melt into there. And you want it to be nice and cheesy like that. And once your water reaches a rolling boil, go ahead and put a nice amount of salt in there. And then add 4 cups of macaroni. Go ahead and keep that moving. You don't want any of that mac to stick to the bottom of the pot. That's going to be a pain to wash. And for how long to boil these, you're going to look at the back of the package. Mine says to boil for 6 minutes until al dente, so I'm going to go like 4.5 minutes. You want it to be not fully done because it's going to finish in the oven. And to test, you're going to take a bite out of one, and you're going to see a little white ring on the inside. That's what you want to see because it's going to finish cooking in the oven. And as I said before, I just moved away from home. I don't have a proper strainer, so this is how I strained my pasta. Then after you strain your pasta, go ahead and dump it all into that cheese sauce. Don't miss any of the mac. And then you just gotta keep on mixing until all the mac is covered in that cheese. I mean, at this point, you could just eat the mac and cheese like this because it's good enough. Or you could do what I'm doing and be extra. So we're going to take the breadcrumbs and mix it with that leftover cheese that we left on purpose. Mix that up, and then we're going to use that to create a nice layer on top of the mac. So into an oven preheated at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. You're going to put the pan in, the whole pan in. And make sure your pan is oven safe. Throw that in for like 5 minutes. You don't need it that long because you just want it to get melty, like the top layer of cheese that we mixed with the breadcrumbs. We just want that to be able to melt on the top. We already crisped the breadcrumbs in the pan. And this is crucial because if you put it in the oven too long, the mac is just going to dry out and it's not going to be juicy and wet or whatever. Never mind that, but now you just got to serve. And once it's ready, it's not ready because you want to leave some of those breadcrumbs to top it. And then you got your mac and cheese. The best mac and cheese you'll ever eat. Yes,